do not give up on any patient, because you don't know those who can turn around against great odds. You just keep on fighting for every patient to the very end. And there are people who die and they will die, but let it not be out of cowardice, weakness, or lack of faith on the part of the health uh, practitioner or the patient. So yes, um, you know, I believe in miracles. Let me speak for myself. But I can't speak for all of my colleagues, but I do believe in miracles. And if patients want to pray, I encourage them. If people want to come and pray for them, I encourage them. Everything, they're all necessary to bring a turnaround. I work with patients because of the issue of miracle, because of the other aspects of that form the human being. If I want to do a surgery on a patient, I spend time with the patient, and I try to take the patient along with me, by telling the patient that everything is going to be all right. And the patient is nodding and agreeing with me. It's very important that the patient believes that the surgery will be successful, because I'm taking into confidence the other aspect of the patient, for the success of a procedure, for instance. So yes, miracles do exist. They do exist in every sector, and but I think the more you practice, the more you see uh, miracles come around. So I do believe in miracles. I know some of my colleagues do believe in miracles, but to be fair, I know that some of my colleagues are extremely scientific, and we don't want to bring the issue of God or miracle into it, but rather to stick with the scientific facts. It's 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 bound to occur. Especially in the scientific world, we have people who say the world came as an explosion, and there are people who, in the scientific world, who believe that yeah, the world was created by God. So yeah, I believe in miracles. I know some of my colleagues do believe in miracles. But the issue of miracle, believing in miracle, does not leave room to carelessness or not applying strong scientific principles that I believe in, or becoming relaxed and allowing miracles, to take the driving seat of the profession. What I still practice, scientifically, based on strong medical principles, and also the experience of the procedures and medications that I've used, that I have confidence in. I still apply them very strongly. Medical science um, goes a long way to saving lives, but in between, we do get one or two cases of miracle. And I think yeah, God. I believe that God determines that, and we are witnesses of it. It's is the certifying someone dead involves a lot of factors. You have to certify them dead based on brain death. You certify them dead based on inactive, the heart not pumping, walking for and also they are not breathing. Okay, now we do have situations in which some patients under certain conditions, these three major organs are working at an extremely, uh, what you might say, very low, inaudible um, levels. For instance, persons in coma, and you listen for the heartbeat and you can't quite get it. Or at the time you're listening to the heartbeat, it's not there. And then it picks up. when you've taken your stethoscope off. And then it's beating slowly, and you can't quite pick it up with your stethoscope. Um, uh, the breathing is very low, and you can't quite clinically identify it. These cases are rare, but they do exist. More like what happens to some animals when they're hibernating. All those major organs like the heart, the brain, and the lungs actually go into very low, abnormally low, state that can best be passed, as dead. Even some of these animals that are hibernating, if you see them, you think they are dead. You can actually lift them up, and move them, and you don't see any breathing, and you can't feel heartbeats. But the hibernating, everything is at extremely normal levels. So that's what actually happens. Just imagine a situation where a patient is um, in a coma, and they're wondering, is he dead, is he not dead? And they can't quite see any breathing. So they say no breathing. And then they put the stethoscope, and they don't hear any heartbeat. You know, then you state no heartbeat, and then you check the pupils, and they're beginning to dilate, and they're dilated. Now say they're then they're dilated, which is a sign of either impending brain death or brain death. And then you touch the limbs, extremities, and they are cold, because there you don't get much blood into the extremities at that point in time. Now the point is, at that point in time, that is, you then certify the person dead at that point in time. What if at that point in a second or two after you have certified the person dead, the heart begins to pick, the brain begins to reverse, and then the lungs begin to make little um, you know breathings and cycles. It's supposed to be 24 cycles, and it's doing 5 cycles. That's something. And then now the person has been wheeled and covered on the way to the mortuary. You can bet that by the time the system picks up, the heart picks up, and the breathing now picks up very well to create an activity of limb movement and all that. The person probably might be in the drawer, of the mortuary. So this is what has led some hospitals refusing to move a body from the ward. Some hospitals insist that the body should not leave the ward until about 30 minutes after this, the certification of the time of certification of death, so as to give room for this type of extremely rare cases. They are extremely rare. As to how many the incidence rates, I don't know, but they're extremely rare. So to give room for these very rare cases, when the patient is certified dead in the ward, the patient is left there for about 30 minutes. Some people say, some hospitals, 1 hour, in the place where they're certified. And and then the doctor comes to check again. And if it's confirmed, then the patient is then wheeled to the mortuary. So this, and don't forget that we as one of the topics we talked about miracles. Don't forget that miracles do occur even in the health sector. So those people who sometimes wake up in the mortuary, apart from this reason I've given, there could be a miracle. It could be a miracle. Somebody somewhere has prayed for the person not to die or to live, and the prayer has been answered. And so that could be also be a miracle. Let's not rule that out. I'm a graduate of University College Hospital, University of Ibadan, and I've worked in UBTH, Benin. I've also worked in the state hospital, district hospital, Ijebu Ife, and various private hospitals in Lagos, King's Hospital, John Ken Hospital, and then finally DFO Medical Clinic and Hospital, which is where I'm practicing right now. I've also traveled and had international experiences here and there in England and presently, um, Australia. So I read a lot of medical journals and to add the mix to the experience I get in different hospitals.